Hi everyone, I'm just making this quick video here just to do a quick roundup of functions. So basically at this point in the practical you'll have come across your first function, and we thought that this video would be useful for those people who've never seen a function before or want to learn a bit more about them. So this is a quick video on what functions are, what they look like, how you can construct a very simple function, and then how to interpret the function that we've got for you in this practical. So a function here, you'll see this is kind of the bare bones of a function. So you have a function name here on the left, similar to an object, where you save the function into your environment panel so that you can use it later. And then in this other area here, you can specify the objects that you want to use as input for your function. So it's good practice in these brackets to put in the type of data that you're using, but you can put whatever you like here. The other element of a function is what we call the function body, which is within these parentheses, and this is basically where the meat of the function is. So a function in essence is a way of combining a sequence of tasks and then it kind of wraps those neatly up so that you can run those sequence of tasks in quick succession without having to write those 5 lines of code out together. So you think of it like a recipe for making bread, for example. You get your ingredients, you put them in a bowl, you mix them together, you put it in the oven, and then you get a loaf of bread. This is similar with functions in terms of how you would process a data set. So you might write 3 lines of code into this function, one that extracts the top 5 rows, one that selects a column, and then one that transforms it to spatial data or something. So that's what a function does, and it's really useful if you have to repeat lots of steps over and over again, or if you want to just process the data set really quickly. I want to show you here how you can build your own function. So I'm going to build a function called getTop5 that takes the top 5 rows of any object that I put into it. So I specify getTop5 as a function name. I have to call the function argument to tell it that this is going to be a new function, and then I put in here df or data frame where we can specify what we want to put in. And then we go into the function body where we can write the line of code out to extract those top 5 rows. So within this, we need to create a line of code that extracts the top 5 rows of a data set. So that's what this line of code here is doing. It's selecting the top 5 rows, rows 1 to 5 of that df object specified up here. But we need to save that as a new object so that we can refer to it later. So this is this df underscore top 5. That is saving the top 5 rows of df as a new object. And then the final step is to return that new object to yourself as part of the function. So I'm returning this new df underscore top 5 object to myself so that when I run the function, it'll save into my functions panel. So you've got this new function here, getTop5. And then when I want to run it on my retail center data, like so, I'm getting a new object called SF5, which is the top 5 rows of whatever object I'm putting in. In this case, I extracted the top 5 rows of retail center centroids. So that's just a really basic overview of how a function works and how it can be used. You're gonna come across this now in a second, which is the first function in this practical. It's called getPrimaryBuffer, and in essence what it's doing is it's a really simple way of extracting a fixed ring buffer for the primary retail centers in your data set. So you can run this function, get it into your environment as I've just done, and then you can apply it down here to your actual retail center data set. And it will give you a 1000 meter buffer for all the primary retail centers in your data set. Thanks for listening.